Authenticity of a picture or a video circulating online. Well, there's a San Diego-based company that says its technology can do just that. And now this startup is teaming up with another San Diego-based company, tech giant Qualcomm. Here to talk about that, plus so much more for the Friday Business Report is Miro Copic. Welcome. What can you tell us about that matchup?
Hey, Ebony. It's a great matchup. It's an interesting case. This company called Copic, their technology, software technology, recognizes if a video or a image has been manipulated through artificial intelligence, and also they could certify that a picture is pristine. Very important. This is a startup. They were founded in 2015. They've raised $10 million, including an $8 million VC round this summer. They're teaming up with Qualcomm because Qualcomm has been looking at video and manipulating video for quite a number of years. They've developed some interesting applications, but what they're doing and working with Copic is really helping to make sure that they're helping perfect their software, but also applying it to their Snapdragon chips, which, because a cell phone, for example, that chip will control the camera on that cell phone to ensure that the imagery is correct. And this company is quite interesting because they've been working with some really fascinating types of customers. They're working with doctors, hospital workers, and citizen journalists in Syria to make sure that when they can report these attacks by the government, and that the photos can be used by diplomats or by military in a really compelling manner. But not only do they have this opportunity to be altruistic, this can really be a big business.
Awesome. And moving on to some news for San Diego, which is not so good. A recent bank rate study says that San Diego is among one of the worst cities for first-time home buyers. Miro, what could this mean for the local economy when it comes to attracting and retaining talent?
It's a challenge. We've talked about this in the past. This study is interesting, but the one silver lining in the study is that of all the major California cities, San Diego rates the best. San Francisco, San Jose, Los Angeles all rate worse. And in fact, surprisingly, Sacramento and San Bernardino rate worse. They rated them on 4 factors. One of them is housing affordability, the tightness of the market, kind of the area around safety, and kind of the culture. And here's what happened. In affordability, the challenge with 25 to 44-year-olds is that the average home price is about $560,000. You need $130,000 to $150,000 income. That demographic, that 25 to 44-year-old demographic, the median income is $73,000. San Diego is also very unaffordable. Only a third of people own homes in San Diego, compared to like a city like Minneapolis, where 60% of its citizens own a home. This demographic has a much higher unemployment rate. San Diego has a 3.8% unemployment rate, but the 25 to 44-year-old demographic has a 6.2% unemployment rate. Way worse than competitive cities like Boston, Phoenix, or Seattle.
So expanding to national news, this week the Federal Reserve left its key interest rate unchanged and projects that it won't change for the rest of the year. What does that tell us?
It tells us that the Fed is kind of being cautious. They did a couple things. This was a unanimous vote of all 11 Fed chairs throughout the country, and it sends a signal to the market that there won't be changes. From a consumer standpoint, that's a big relief, because those Fed funds rates affect mortgages, home equity lines of credit, credit card rates, auto loan rates. So knowing that these rates won't change too much are very important for consumers, for the market. The Fed based this decision on a number of factors. Even though we had a robust growth rate last year of 2.9% as an economy, the tax reform bill has been kind of a dud. They had great results in the second and third quarter, where growth started approaching 4% or exceeded 4%. It ended the year a little bit of a fizz, and then the government shutdown in the first couple of months of the year kind of took the wind out of the economy's sails. So the Fed really revised their forecast from 2.3% growth to 2.1% growth. Plus, like we talked about last week, the global economy has actually, the growth has slowed even faster than the U.S. U.S. And part of it's driven by our trade wars with China, with the EU, and then all the announcements in the recent days with Brexit really create a lot of uncertainty. So economists generally have become very, very pessimistic. In the last couple of days, some of the most important business leaders like Jamie Dimon of JP Chase really issued a warning about prospective growth. So the Fed is making sure that it's doing all it can to keep things reasonable.
Miro Copic, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ebony.